Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute. Unfortunately, with the COVID lockdown, it was very hard for us to build cars. Part supplies were closed. If they had anything, it was difficult to get, and a lot of the stuff they were out of stock of. Containers were stuck in the port, so yeah, it was a difficult time, but we managed to make it through, and yeah, we carry on building cars. We have managed to move the W126 to the house as well, so we will carry on with the Tiburon and the 126 sort of back to back. We are finishing off the resto mod at the shop still, so that will also carry on in the background. But in today's episode we will be carrying on with the Barra and the W126. The other Barra as well that we stripped down, we will be rebuilding it. I'm just waiting on a timeline for that, but in the meantime the W126 is coming along beautifully. A lot of great parts going in this car, a lot of custom parts, a lot of fabricated stuff. Because it is a show car, we're trying to just keep everything top notch. So yeah, we're just glad to be back guys, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Follow along. Alright guys, as you saw, Jacques just did the unboxing of the intake manifold. It's an RPM intake manifold, really decent bit of kit. CNC throttle bodies, CNC flanges. There is a few guys from Oz that have messaged me and said, you know, there's problems with this manifold and creeping on certain cylinders or whatever. We're not building a race car. This is just going to be a cruiser, show car, you know, just a fun thing to drive. So stuff like that where you're trying to hunt numbers and all that, we'd worry about. But with this, comes in a box, comes in a kit, we assemble it and we go from there. Fuel rail's perfect, throttle body's perfect. We've got all the vacuum lines that we need for the back, map sensor spacing. So yeah, we're happy with this. Bolt on, bolt off. Alright guys, so we've received the ECU for the W126 for the Barra swap. We've gone with CoreEFI, a local company this side of the world, and yeah, so far we're pretty happy. ECU came with a already pinned out wiring harness, so this is what the ECU looks like. It's got all the plugs, your connectors, vacuum line, all that kind of stuff. For the price, there isn't an ECU in the country with the capabilities, all sorts of things like sequential anti-lag of different cylinders, auto tuning, all the different outputs. It's the amount of capabilities this ECU's got for the price is, yeah, it's definitely what we need. There is a few guys also that have used this on Barras in the country, so that is another reason why we went with this. The background is there, they know what they're doing, so yeah, we're pretty happy with that. The only get up that we have with the ECU was mounting it. It doesn't have any mounting points on it, which is not the end of the world. So what we did was Shark made up a little mounting cover, and basically that sits over the ECU like that, and where we mount it, it'll fit. So the wiring harness, it did came fully sheathed, terminated, all that kind of stuff, but because this is going to be a show car, I wasn't too happy with the way, you know, the sheathing was and all that kind of stuff. So we've now bought weaved sheathing and taken everything apart, and now running all the wires hidden and that kind of stuff. So we've got a decent wire tuck looking engine bay, and yeah, we'll take you guys along with that. We still need to sheath everything and go from there, but we're happy with that so far. Alright guys, so obviously we ordered some parts before the lockdown, and unfortunately I didn't have the car to work off certain things like radiators and intercoolers. So we did order a 550 by 180 by 65 intercooler before the lockdown. So we've measured the length of the cooler, and unfortunately it is too long to fit in the front of this car. We are going to go behind the grille. I don't want intercoolers hanging from the bottom of the car and all sorts of you know, stuff hanging out. We want this clean, simple, very sleeperish look. So this is the cooler from my Tiburon, and the length is pretty much perfect. We'd have to then just modify the end tanks and you put 90s on them. But what we're going to do, because the guys don't have stock of anything smaller than this, where I bought this, they only receive their stock next year. This COVID has been a bit of a problem. What we're going to do, we're going to cut the tanks off, probably just off one side, shorten the core, clean the inside of the cores, and then re-weld the tank on to a perfect size. And then instead of just wasting, you know, time and money on other coolers and all that, we'll just utilize this, and the size is perfect. We're only going to be doing 0.5 to 0.8 bar, so I'm not too concerned with, you know, how hectic the cooler needs to be. Okay, cool. So like I said, with some of the parts, it was a bit difficult to measure with lockdown and all that, and we couldn't order anything. So what I've done is, now while the car is here at the house, I've actually used the Tiburon's radiator as a test fit, and it fits like a charm. I'm super happy with how it falls into place. What we will do is we'll be taking, I'm buying a new radiator obviously. We'll take the plastic end tanks off, we'll weld on aluminium ones with the inlet and outlet in the right places. The fan, we have got a nice big fan for this, and then I'll make some shrouding for it. I will show you now. So the intercooler we got, unfortunately, ends by the lights, so we can't do anything with that. So like I said, we'll just chop the tanks, and then basically the piping will run down and up and through to the throttle and through to the turbo. yeah guys, so the intercooler has been chopped up. Pretty happy with the result. One thing I did forget to mention when I was explaining when with chopping it is basically when you do cut it, and please make sure it's with a blade, not with an abrasive wheel or anything like that, is you're going to need to blank off each air chamber between the cores. Basically you can use a laser cut blank off plate, however you want to do it. We just used separate aluminium strips and then added them in, and yeah, super happy with the outcome. It is a little bit smaller than what we needed to go. The reason being is I am making space for the front of the car to also have the oil cooler as well as transcooler. I'd like everything to be behind the grille of the car. Like I said, I don't want anything dangling off the bottom of this car, on the side of the car. And with the W126, it's literally a small metal bumper like this. So there's nothing you can tuck or hide or anything like that. So we're utilizing the best amount of space we can. Again, there's going to be a little cruiser. It's not going to be a 1,000 horsepower race car. So I'm super happy with this little intercooler. Let's fit it and we go from there. Alright guys, so another thing we've had done is the turbo we're running on this car is a GT35. What we have done is I've stripped everything. I've sent it off to Gabby over at Fastech, best turbo builders in the country. It should be ready for collection soon. What we've done in the meantime, we have had the exhaust housing ceramic coated. I have coated the comp housing, same color as the motor, which will be a very similar color to the interior. Obviously, show car, we're going with a very unique look as to the car. So inside, outside, all that kind of stuff, a lot of color matching. I've got all the flanges and stuff cut, and we have started building the manifold. Basically, a simple setup for the space that we have. The W126 chassis has got a lot of room, but the problem is where we want to put the turbo, how close to the motor, all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of figuring out, and then obviously also keeping everything as equal flow as possible. But yeah, I'm super happy with how the manifolds come out. One or two more things here, and then I can solid weld everything, and then we will start with the downpipe and internal wastegate. I know we can go with external wastegate for better control, but yet again, I'm not building a high performance race car. I'm happy with the wastegates on this. We might just tweak them a little bit on the inside, but with the new core and everything going on here and the wheels, I've got no reason to do so. So yeah, as soon as we have the core back, we will assemble the turbo. Then the turbo can go on for this test fitting to build the downpipe. Alright guys, that's it for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. On the next episode we'll be doing finishing up the turbo, perhaps boost pipes, focusing on the fuel lines, fuel pressure regulator, all that kind of stuff. We are finishing up the wiring as well. We'd like to turn the key, so the main thing will be doing all the stuff necessary for that, service on the motor as well, oils, all that kind of stuff. So we're just happy to be back building, guys, and yeah, see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Containers were sitting in port.